Hello there, welcome to match number 4 of League Season 47 here against Topher. First board, got not a lot, kind of awkward. This is a bit of a pain, right? You gotta do, there's draw and trashing and junking and whatever. And all VP, so you kind of have to play towards that stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure. You probably can build a deck that plays several monuments a turn with Lost Arts and Mastermind and such. I'm not sure about the Doctor. I gotta think on this. I can see going for one later, or possibly not at all. There's certainly some incentive to trashing the coppers. They drew their Doctor again, which is probably the best. This is the next best thing, I suppose. This is considerably better though, probably. I'm gonna get silver next time. At some point we'll want monument, but okay. I'm not super wild about the salvager, though it's perfectly reasonable. Maybe this is the right timing. Salvage estate bylaws or there's stuff to do with it. Totally reasonable. Trying to think if I get another silver if I just do something like Haven or Cherry Race. Probably take a Den here. Take a Mastermind. Mastermind is fine too, but not super exciting to me. Ideal draw here for me is a silver. Salvager is acceptable too. Probably. We can get another double another double curse trash, we'll be in some kind of position. The Mastermind is just like they don't have any targets yet. They can. If they add a target, then it's fine. But you really want to buy in some actions here. For sure. Okay, this is a little rough. just the difference in the curse trashing is probably going to be a little bit of a problem going forward. Possibly more than a little bit of a problem. So we need masterminds. I mean, we also would like to just do, or I would like to just do a bunch of monuments. Doing den and stuff. That's not going to be trivial necessarily. Well, probably pretty doable. I mean, that's the question, is whether or not the mastermind plays pay off quicker than diving right into dens and monuments. The next turn is pretty bad. It's copper estate doctor. I don't know if there's really much to improve it. Oh, and never mind, not copper. Well, I may get a point off this. They're definitely just a bit ahead at the moment. You don't really ramp up that fast. It's a bit awkward. Chariot races aren't terribly good. I mean, depends on the deck compositions, but quite a bit better for them, but I'm not actually sure if you put, I think probably it's totally fine to put the I was not super lucky. I think it's probably totally fine to put the token there on chariot race. You really need to get monument though. I think here that probably monument chariot race for Topher. Seems pretty to me, yeah. Yeah, this is probably just gonna be fairly gross for me. And then here they can go like, it would be nice for them to get a fair probably. I mean, I need to play the other, what is in there? There's silver. I didn't even know that there are any coppers left. I need to find the mastermind, so I gotta think it. Yeah, I was gonna say it's not even like that. This is the correct order though already. I'm gonna need a coin. Suppose it's gotta be like this. Okay. Yeah, they needed another. Oh, that's really great. I will take that. The last card is a copper. So we're not getting points off the chariot race. It's just a question of what we can afford and what we would like to buy. So we have whether we want to crash 2 coppers or whatever. So we can get to one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. That seems fine. Do like Monument Fair. I think that's what the last card is. Yeah. Well, this is still workable due to the... Wow, this isn't. Having copper on top is not workable, but this is at least playable hand. I just will mastermind the monument, play mastermind, and I can still buy a couple of good things. Obviously, the 1 copper on top really sucks, but nothing I can do. And it sucks to miss out on maybe a triple buy from the salvager, but... The chariot races, well, you still need them because you want to kick off the... Chariot races are kind of bad for winning chariot races, but... I was fortunate this turn. I mean, this is still a game. I mean, the chariot races can swing in weird ways, and nobody is gonna have tons of buys ever. I mean, you can get to a point where you can play like Salvager with an empty deck, and get another buy that way and have 3 buys, but you're never really gonna have more than 3 buys, I guess, unless you really decided, oh, I want to fish for market, but why would you do that? So I don't that was good, a great reveal for me. I could set aside a chariot race. That's not unreasonable. At this point, what's in the bottom is Monument and Doctor. So I'm not hitting, the chariot race isn't activating. And I probably want to play all these. I mean, I could opt to not. If we draw Monument, the turn gets a little better. But if we draw, what do we have? 1, 2, 3. I have $7 right now. It could be 8, or it could be 6. Or, I mean, there's some up. I mean, you can trash this or set aside the Salvager and hope to draw the Monument 50-50, and then you get to 9 and 2 buys, which is okay, pretty nice, admittedly. But it's only a 50-50. You can set aside the Monument, and then kind of be back to, it's not the same 50-50. Then the 50-50 is you draw the Monument and you're back to this hand. Or you draw the Doctor and you salvage the Doctor, which gets you a little more money. That's something. You set aside like the Copper, you can hit, basically you can hit 8 or 9. Maybe the play is to set aside the Monument. I mean, there's some risk of not, maybe I didn't count right. I don't think I counted right. You would have needed to set aside the, anyway, I didn't count part of that right. Masterminds are in hand, which is terrible. It means the chariot race probably crushes me, and in fact it does. You really don't want the masterminds in hand for your chariot race, and probably more significantly for them. You want to give yourself some shot of having a 5 on top. But it's really, yeah, and then maybe even, I don't know, it wouldn't be too insane for Topher to, like, I don't know, even just empty the masterminds here. I don't know what they have in hand exactly, but presumably they could at the very least like salvage a Haven if they needed some way to get the money. Oh, I hate the treasure maps, to be perfectly honest, so that's good. for me, I think they're probably still far enough ahead that they may get out, but I do super duper hate the treasure maps. This was very, very fortunate for me. I don't know what the last card is. Just another chariot race. But it does, I do get a point since they have the Haven, so let's do it. I super hate the treasure maps. It's just like screams fancy play to me. Not in a good way. I don't know. I probably will have to Lost Arts at some point. I don't know when that time should be. Like, I could do it now. And buy another chariot race, and then we're just sort of looking at emptying the monuments eventually. The other option could be like Monument Den. I'm gonna have an action problem though if I don't. Well, I mean, if I play chariot races, I can still play all the actions. It's just maybe a little worse than playing monuments potentially. But I can still play them all. If I do chariot races. And if I hit and then the next turn do a Lost Arts. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced that this was correct, but I hope they just drew the dins or drew the treasure maps in their hand and they just are stuck doing this. It's just exactly what they deserve. Or drew one of the treasure maps or whatever as a part of this. Just why would you waste your buys on treasure maps? It's insane. You could just buy monuments and have print points. I bet they're gonna mastermind a mastermind. If I had to guess what this undo is going to be. Yeah. I guessed right, yay me. I mean, there weren't really other a bunch of other options for that. So they have 4 masterminds coming down the line next turn. And I'm gonna be close on points after this turn. Well, that depends. That's a very much a it depends kind of thing. This, I don't like the other salvager and I don't like the estate at all. I don't get it. I don't think you're getting to a point of piling out. What is the play to do here? Is it to play the chariot races first, or is there actually much difference? I don't know that there's really any difference. I mean, I guess you get a little more option. Okay, that was really fortunate. Let me think. So if we don't do a chariot race here, we won't be able to play all the terminals. On the other hand, if we just do monument, we probably get... That doesn't mean that we can't play the terminal. Like if we triple a monument, but we don't play one of the monuments, that's still fine. Or, you know, whatever it happens to be. I think this... Well, it does... Yeah. Do I have... I have 3 monuments, though. On the other hand, this does sort of let me... There's good chances of winning races, right? Well, 2 of the races are guaranteed, not good chances. It's just straight up guaranteed. And then this lets us have in a chariot race, which is nice. Because we were getting points off it seemed like the fine thing to do. So we're not... What are the odds of them, like, piling? They're gonna have 2 buys, and then maybe they can... It's hard to mastermind salvagers, actually. That's difficult. I still don't know exactly what my win condition looks like. It may be the long game of just playing more monuments. I could believe that. Not that I want to give them a pile out. That would require... Well, it depends on what I buy, I suppose. But they would have to... Or they would have to mastermind... They're doing 4 masterminds. They would have to... Well, masterminding a salvager once gives them... But they would need a ton of money. I'm gonna say that this is... And I don't have to go for it either. There are some other buys I could consider. Could even... Well, Province probably doesn't. $18 and 5 buys. That's the scary part. They would have to... There's no reason for me to do double. This is now they have to salvage, or they have to mastermind salvager twice, which seems unlikely. Now the question is whether it's worth it for me to put, like... They may start masterminding masterminds throughout. I think I just do nothing. I could buy... Marauder is the only thing. Just as having a 4 is kind of nice, and I could salvage it later. Depending on where they are, it may not be unreasonable to hit them with the attack. But I think we just go the end buys. No, wait, I have a chariot race set aside and I'm getting din cards. They get nothing off that. They will have actions. They have one more mastermind play coming down. They may use it on a mastermind. No. Oh wait, that was all of them? Can they draw these? Draw a couple of them. I can get to 5 buys pretty easily. It is, I mean, the way it panned out, it would have been safe for me to take the other monument, and then I would have been in a position to pile out on my turn. But, well, I mean, if they start buying provinces, then maybe not pile out. But. I don't think I can do 6 provinces. Okay. So that didn't work out so well. Still an action issue. It didn't matter, they weren't going to win anyway. Okay. I'm a bit worried about them just winning outright. The last card is a mastermind. It's like if I give them, I mean, they can salvage provinces, unfortunately. So I can like buy one, but it's not super safe. Pretty rough chariot race. I mean, that's how this one was gonna swing in some sense, or at different points. It was pretty likely. How many terminals do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So one of them would remain unplayed if we do this, but and also just a question of what do we do to what money do we need now versus later. I can't really see myself taking more than one province, and even that seems potentially like trouble. I mean, I guess I could choose not to take province also. I'm going to say that 5 is out of reach. I don't know that that's actually true. It could very well be in reach. I mean, it depends a lot on the chariot races. So we'll just have to see. Cross our fingers. Province on top. Province on top. You can do it. I'll take it. I'll take a 4. I mean, come on. I can no wins. That's I can't complain. So they only have one more mastermind this turn. I'm not really gonna have I don't know, maybe they get to I don't know, this isn't a lot of money for them. I don't know if they can get to the pile out. If they do, they can afford to do like a single province of a salvaging. And then they can do, so if they triple a salvager, like if they can salvage a province safely. And then, you know, well, they didn't go for the buy, so they're not going for a pile out. The rest of the chariot racing didn't quite go my way. Double seems scary. I mean, I haven't counted it, but it seems a little scary. I mean, would put them at 62. 18 would give me 55. So I'd only need seven-ish VP points. I mean, I'm gonna live or die by the chariot race. Maybe there'll be a haven on top. That's happened to me several times. I don't know what they mean by that, but whatever. I don't actually want to chat about it. But I don't know exactly what they that's sort of a weird set of buys as well. Well, I guess we're gonna start finding out. Nope, that's a big nope. I mean, they had, at this point, they obviously, their deck skews a lot more expensive than mine. Between the, well, there's a 1 gold, but there's 2 provinces, and you know, so that's not, it's not odd. Not particularly. It makes me sad, but it's not odd. I think, like, what can I even, I do have a province, I guess, there that was bottom decked, so there's a 50-50 on the play order remaining to me now. I'm not even sure. What am I getting out of this turn? I mean, I can just hope that their draw is kind of crappy. I'm not really scoring a lot of points here. I'm obviously not threatening to win of any sorts. I would have had to get, I can get the buys, and I suppose I would have the money. $16-20, yeah. But I won't be really anywhere near the points. Would they buy? They do have a lot more stop kind of stuff, though. Of course, they have all these masterminds coming down. And if I take a province, then it does suddenly look a lot easier for them to pile out. What do I do here? It's really nothing good. Can't get to, I mean, just straight up emptying the provinces, I guess, would have won if I had the money. But you need $40, which is like a lot of money. Because, I mean, that would have been plenty of points. If I had a province in hand, I think it would just be there. Say it would have 15, 23. Well, okay. Can get 15 plus 12. That's already 27. But maybe if there had been a province. I feel like I just have to wait, though I'm pretty sure they're gonna simply pile out. Should I set aside a cherry race? There's two, what is it, cherry race and province down here. I guess I give myself a shot at hitting the point. Well, yeah, there was definitely a world where I could do a province emptying depending on my draws there if the cherry races, except for the one, weren't all blocked. Maybe even if I had done, maybe it was guaranteed with this reveal. What if I had done Salvager on these to give 15, and then I would have played the 4. Well, I would have tripled one of the monuments. And that would have put me at, it would have been like 6 monuments. So that would have put me at 27. And then I could have that's still short. That is still short. Even with the cherry race, that's still like a few dollars short. I just needed cherry race hits. I don't even know. I mean, probably buying Denison is fine, but I don't know that buying anything else really helps me. Don't know that it hurts me, but. Okay. That'll do it. Yeah, there was a world where I can finish on my last turn. But we didn't get the... I don't think that... I think counting that was still short money. Ooh. Pretty interesting board. I think the only reason I was even in it at all is because of the treasure maps, to be honest. I think they were pretty much just out of range, but well, sort of an interesting board. Delve is helping me out a bit here. There's no buy, but there's some extra gaining and some... Certainly there's some engine stuff that can be done. Outpost may help it a little bit. There's not really... Well, Arena, I guess, incentivizes you to go for some action stuff. Not super in love with the Vassal, but it's probably fine. Guess you can go... I mean, another option is to play Werewolf Money, I guess. I guess you'd call it. Doesn't sound super good to me. I kind of want to be greedy and wait and buy ports. I don't think the werewolves are gonna completely run out. I don't know what the next hand has, whether it can get... This was a really fortunate shuffle. Here I will certainly get the werewolves. Hopefully well, it's guaranteed to be able to find the camel train. I guess unless they attack me, but there's not. What's the last card? I'm kind of thinking about taking arena. Okay, I can take arena anyway. I thought maybe it was a port, but I should have done it. I should have left this port, obviously, on top. I thought maybe it was, but I didn't want to count. We'll still get arena points, though. We should have gotten arena points while having a port on top of the deck, and maybe we'll get punished for it. And if so, as always, I say I would deserve it via stupidity. I should be a little bit ahead, or at least a little bit, maybe a lot of bit ahead. See what they buy. They do have the arena stuff, I guess, going for them. They go for an outpost, which is, you know, perfectly reasonable. I guess there's a world where they get both of the werewolves, so it's somewhat unlikely. And I don't get any. Like, they do have a werewolf in here and some ports and stuff, so it's possible for them to play the outpost, get to 5 twice. But I'll be a little greedy. We haven't hexed yet, which the hexes are gonna do some damage in these decks, I would say for sure. Okay, they don't play outposts, so we're gonna be able to get the werewolf off the mat there for sure. Don't have to worry about arena anymore. Guess this is the same regardless. It probably is Crossroads. It could be Treasury. I'm trying to think what is the... It's probably Crossroads is more likely that I want to buy one later on. In all honesty, it's not super likely that I want to buy any of them later on, but... Okay, we hit him with it. Come on, find one of them. Yes, yes, yes. This is very lucky. Do have a lot of werewolves, of course, but still is very lucky. We get to do a double hex. Don't know that when we go for the Crossroads buy, we want there to be 30 of them in there. We don't even, this is kind of funny because we don't even have enough to buy the, like this would be the turn where you would be like, oh yeah, I'll buy Crossroads now. We don't even have it. Silk Road is probably reasonable, but not super great. I don't know that you resign there. I mean, the game, I'm way ahead for sure, but the game will play out with pretty quickly. But anyway. And there were still like tons of shuffles, right? Obviously, my deck was way better, but there was no trashing, so it was always possible to draw all terminal, draw no village for a shuffle, for a whole shuffle, and have, you know, 4 dead turns. Now the dead turns look a little different because they're like attacking dead turns, so I mean that is something. So it's when I can't draw, I'm going to be hexing him like 2 or 3 times, but this is like minion stuff. Sewers, I don't. Well, I mean, you need a way to get to 5 at least once to buy either a minion or a spices or a butcher. Buying any of those probably gives you kind of the economy you need to buy more 5s. The urchin attack obviously can mean a lot less given minion, whether that means Sewers remodel or Sewers temple become like appealing enough versus urchin. I'm not sure. The urchin is still a good way to get to 5. You can just buy. I wonder what, I am curious whether they're thinking of pairing it with Templar versus Remodel. They're reasonable looking remodel targets, Mill in particular. Looks pretty viable. So I can kind of see it. I mean, if you don't get the Urchin Collision, then probably feels pretty, I'll just try it. Yeah, so they go with temple. I think that's like perfectly reasonable opening. There's also like some world where you hit like 5. I mean, you can always just draw 5 coppers, which would be quite fortunate. I don't know if I ought to have taken a farming village rather than this. Here I will take a farming village. We can just go to the end of this shuffle. Do we want a second mercenary? Maybe? But now I'm good, so I'll just put on Never Trash. Sure, we can trigger this. Maybe we'll draw. There's a mercenary in there. I mean, eventually we're gonna want like a butcher. But for now, I'm pretty happy with a minion. Snowy can be awkward in this deck, but I think I can still make use of the buy. Buys butcher first, okay. I will take a butcher now. Okay. I wasn't, obviously my draws were really good. I wasn't paying so much attention to theirs to say if theirs were bad or good. They're just never gonna have any money. I mean, not if, I guess if I get a, because if I'm doing the attacks consistently, like, they're never buying anything. They can't even buy silvers. Maybe they'll buy treasure map. This is tough. There's Storyteller Scepter. As villagey stuff. I mean, everything's here. Just there's not like clear openings, and the build is a little wonky. That's all. But everything's here. All the pieces are here. It's just the opening is a little funny. I mean, you're gonna get a silver. I don't think you're gonna go like Bishop Ducat. I'm not really that inclined to even take a ducat on the opening. Just see if you get a kind of crappy hand later on, because you would rather buy the 5s now. Some people love the ducat though, so. I mean, I think it's a totally playable card here. That's not really what I'm saying. It's just a it's just what am I trying to say? Now here I'm thinking forum or storyteller. It's not super clear on me which, but I think I'll go ahead and take the storyteller. Obviously I had a great reshuffle. This is fine. It's not especially surprising that we've hit the storyteller. When I say it's not especially surprising, what I mean is, well, it's not actually surprising at all. We will need acting troops. I was kind of hoping to buy, this is kind of just being wishful thinking and probably not that practical, but hoping that the ducat could be gotten on a forum turn. That takes $8, but that's sort of my hope, I guess, at the moment. And similarly that maybe the acting troop would be gotten under that circumstance. Yeah, this isn't super great. Well, we can just draw through a lot of the deck. We're gonna hit the actions, but like this is pretty nice for Topher if they want. I mean, you probably just take you either take forum and another ducat, or you just take canal. I think both are reasonable. Now you're gonna, or you can double forum, that's fine too. So I can draw more, or I do have the forum in here. Though the cycling is somewhat appealing, and there are still a couple of states. There's like nightmarish kind of sequencing to the bottom here that could be pretty bad. Both with playing and not playing the journeyman, so. I think I'm gonna favor cycling though. Okay, this is fine because we lost the estates, so. It worked out. They take canal there, it seems. like a thing you can take there. I mean, we're just trying to drop the silvers now. We might as well play all the... Okay, that didn't quite pan out, I wouldn't say. What is the... Well, we're not drawing the journeyman, so that doesn't look quite as appealing. I don't have... Seven. Can't go now. I can go like acting troop duck it. Pretty sad. Reshuffle there. I don't even know what I named. That's actually just a really awful reshuffle. Not super clear you even do anything. I wonder if you muck around with poorhouse stuff here. That would be kind of funny. I'm not really sure that it's good, but so this was, yeah, and they got to the end of the shuffle. They can do like Storyteller Scepter, I think is what I would buy if I were Topher. This is reasonable too. Okay, well, that was apparently the worst possible naming I could have done. I don't think I have anything really playable left in there either. There's something... There's something... Okay. There may be something to be said for like a cellar. I need journeyman. Well, I need canal. I need a lot of things. Okay, they didn't get a great draw here. Or they didn't get anything exciting anyway. We're not really speeding ahead here, but there are kind of infinite points on the board. So... This is reasonably okay to trigger on. Just spin them on the canal. This is fortunate. I might think about adding a bishop. I mean, it's going to depend hugely on what just the numbers look like. Play Storyteller with Scepter. Oh, drat, they didn't. What a bummer. Hopefully we don't have to buy another acting troupe. Ideally, but... I guess they're getting a ducat. Makes sense. I wonder if that's worth getting the... I mean, probably worth getting another 5 out of it. 2 coffers. They didn't buy... I'm like, you gotta buy it for them, man. That was funny. I don't know if you do second Storyteller, maybe. I think we just go up to the end here, right? Oh, we're gonna go past it. So we probably want to go another card. There's 3 estates in there. That's sort of annoying. This is quite annoying. It's just going to cost us money, basically, to drop the estates. Maybe it doesn't cost us money. I don't know. But the point is we want to get to the end. There are 3 estates in this card. We want to get to the end of it. I don't know what that... It's just a bunch of ducats, right? This literally just doesn't change anything. Playing the form wouldn't change anything. Other than having 1 rather than 3, but we're not triggering shuffles or anything, so... Don't think it matters. Okay. So we need to increase the money. That means treasure map, right? I'm gonna do it. I've got to. What can we... How many... 9, 3, 3, yeah. Not quite the point. Not quite the point where that is super appealing, to be honest. We could try the poorhouse stuff. I don't think it works, but we could try it. Let's not try it. Even if draw and you're like confident you can get there. Maybe I should have done, how much money could I have had? $1 more. I could have gone journeyman acting troupe. That would have been not crazy. These decks are finicky. Not super impressive. Well, right now we just don't actually have good payload at all. The payload is very bad. The ducats are bad and the comp, I mean, we just have money. The question is just how do you add the payload if you go for just buying golds or what? Like buying gold would have been totally reasonable if on my last turn I had went gold journeyman. That would have been not crazy at all. So they're going for acting troupe and treasure maps. I don't know if they really have to buy the draw to support it. Without a second journeyman, it's not clear to me that you know, works out the way you would like it to. But how do I do this? Do we spend a villager, or how do we finagle this? So we can get an action from forum, which is then enough to play the journeyman. And if we just like name estates, maybe we get there. There's just a bunch of crud in the... And if we do 3 journeyman plays, we'll certainly draw everything. And maybe not have to play so much treasure to the storyteller, which is what we did last time. I don't hate the treasure map buys from them. I'm just not super huge fan of the timing of them. But they're not like unreasonable. I think we'll spend the villager. Which means we're going with this sequence. I may mess this up. I kind of regularly do mess this stuff up. Yeah, that's not clear that it was worth it to me, but that's what we did. Feels like we could have got a similar result. The last journeyman just drew a copper, right? So feels like we could have got a similar result with maybe some other play choices and maybe still have the two villagers. Is what it feels like to me. I don't know how far they can. They do have another storyteller, right? So maybe they still didn't have the other treasure map. I wonder if you do the treasure. I guess I don't know what they have all had in hand, but do you not do the treasure maps, then play a forum to draw a couple of the golds, then you can play your storytellers, right? And draw through the rest of them, rest of the deck even. Draw 7 cards or whatever it is. However much you need. Do they, because they don't have another, so now is it just like, oh, we're gonna top deck 4 golds and next turn buy 2 forums or 3 forums or whatever it is? Is that the thought? I mean, it's not necessarily unreasonable, but the forums may be gone. Maybe you just think you're just buying a province the next turn. I don't know. Are they literally just gonna hold the, so they're just holding the treasure maps until they can actually gain and play them. I feel like there was a way, I don't know what the hand was, but I felt like there was a way to use storyteller, do the sequencing through here to get the golds into deck this turn. That seemed a little odd to me. I could be wrong. We're doing nothing here though, so maybe I shouldn't criticize. Hopefully they have a crappy turn. Okay, yay. All right, this is all workable now because we're gonna have enough draw through here. Well, maybe I'm jinxing myself, but there's not a lot of coppers left. This was 2 of the coppers. This was 2 of the coppers. And this is the 3rd copper. So there's 1 copper, 1 estate left. Could still have had bad luck there. Do we want to try and sequence this such that we can scepter journeyman twice? Or do we just go for it now? Because I don't have another storyteller. We're probably gonna use a... Am I just wrong about the number of coppers I have? Maybe I was just confused. This is the end of the... We can buy an acting troop as long as we have some villagers. It's okay. Okay. Well, we're going down to 1 here because I'm gonna gain these. I'm gonna draw these golds. We didn't get to the, well, we can get to the other scepter. Sort of. But only if we name gold, which is a little annoying. Well, we could draw some of them first, I suppose. We don't have to. Well, we're going to draw through this stuff, but how do you do this? You could just come up to the end of the shuffle. This is a bit unfortunate on the acting troupe sitch, but not unfortunate in terms of how much money I have. I think it's reasonable to basically blast through the forms here. I don't think I need to play for I think I have to play around pile outs at this point. I don't think I need a second set. So maybe we go form, storyteller. That's 16. We could do acting troupe. And we could think about a bishop at this point. Though it's maybe we don't have the action to support that. So if we go I guess we could also add, I don't know, I don't hate having some coffers. This is probably more than you really want to accumulate, but the thing that Topher has in general kind of ignored here, I could have swapped one copper for a ducat for a coffer. That wouldn't have been unreasonable. If I had to point to something that Topher has kind of done that I think is not great, is not have enough journeyman, because you don't have real draw in your deck. I mean, Storyteller Silver is, but they're quite low on draw. I could easily get into an action problem here, though. That wouldn't be hard. It's not clear to me that the forums were better than like another scepter either for me. That's probably, the forums are just safety net, I guess, but I probably will want to green a little bit. They do have as much buy as me now, or I guess haven't for a while. One of them was not trashing though. More treasure maps I think is a little greedy, though it's possible to get through it. Just feels a little greedy. sequence to do this. Did I hope I added another storyteller. At least. I did. I still have a bunch of just regular style journeymen, right? So it makes some sense to do forums. I don't know, do I need to draw any off the storyteller, or am I good on... There's another storyteller. So we can wait. Okay. How do I come out here on the end the way I would like? Again, double province scepter, double province storyteller. Because I can triple province on my next turn. If I draw. I guess the card to actually get us journeyman. Now I don't know if the duchies... I don't know if Topher will be in a position to do... to have the fight on the duchies. I don't know. Can they quad? If they quad, they would need $28. They may be able to just quad. They weren't really that close to that amount of money last time, but can probably do triple and a duchy. Big thing to me is just not dudding. Yeah, like this isn't good enough for them. I don't think. Haven't been paying attention to what was left. Oh, I messed up. Well, it doesn't matter, but I did, I think, mess up a little bit. Okay, here we'll just do this is a little awkward actually. We probably need to trigger. The money always makes these awkward. Okay, this is good enough. We don't play one of the journeymen, but in fact, whatever sequence there that it was for me. I guess I didn't count my deck. I could have just played the journeyman first and guaranteed drawn everything or whatever. It would have worked. I didn't know my money count like at all. I guess you just do mask stockpile. You could bargain something. The fives aren't super appealing. Market squares later on, but lots of thrones and governors. Probably you get a haunted woods. I don't know. I mean, it's a little hard to say, oh, this is the point where I want the haunted woods versus almost anything else, but this I'm not sure. Do I do throne room or do I do bargain for something? Obviously we have a terminal collision potential in the reshuffle. Not unlikely at all, given that it's masquerade. Did their stockpile miss? No, they played. Wait. Oh wow, they had. Oh, they had you know what they had. They had a sombrero. So I gotta think. I guess on the one side, the bargain now, the horse is pretty far from their shuffle. Or about as far as it's gonna be in the early game. Throne Room is just an incredibly good card here too also though, so. The festival seems a little questionable given that you're probably just getting barracks and probably you just, I mean, you may have a festival at some point, but the governor, on the other hand, the governor in this shuffle isn't super good. You could just be like me and just get lucky. I highly recommend it. I think barracks is looking like a reasonable buy soon, just the two masquerades, and I could even afford to do a third. I don't know what they'll do. Throne market square is not awful. Not super exciting either, but I will get a throne soonish. They do haunted woods. I always dislike haunted woods. I don't know what to tell you. It's not a very good card. I of course, right when I say, always before I say, right when I say that I don't like it, of course it always leads to me immediately getting beat up by it. Almost always. We're probably getting a copper here. Oh. Okay. Topher is trying to get out of these quick, apparently. I'm not sure that was... I don't know what they had in hand. Maybe it was like they were going to have to pass me a 5 or something. Well, not a 5, but you know what I mean. I'm not sure. I don't know that was resignable, but they did sombrero, so they were obviously way behind. Okay. Inheritance is probably decent pickup here. Lots of good target. I don't know. There's some spiky things that you can try to do to get there. And if you did have inheritance, then you'd be pretty happy with the you'd be pretty happy with the battlefield, of course. I'm gonna go Silver Skulk. I can totally see Border Guard instead. Well, we didn't. I think you need the goal. Well, there's still potential, I guess, to have hit it, but it's extremely unlikely. I think the buys apart from this are kind of hard because you don't... Obviously, you still want to trash the coppers, and you may even be willing to just trash the estates, even though you're certainly gunning for... you're certainly gunning for hitting 7, and Junk Dealer's not particularly good for that. This is a rough famine. That was me hitting inheritance. Almost certainly. I guess the Junk Dealer may have pulled one of them off, and that might have been an issue. But diluted may or may not be something here. If they have... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I got hit on the famine for sure. I think I'm willing to buy a diplomat. Unless I get hexed, which I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that out loud. That was the stupidest thing to say out loud. Can't believe I'm that dumb. I don't know if I go Border Guard or Walled Village. There are terminal draw stuff, though there's also... I guess you probably go Walled Village. I shouldn't have said that out loud. I don't even know if the Skulk is in the deck, but it is in the deck. They're deciding what to trash. Dream Draw is just to have copper on top. I mean, there are some things that are technically a little better, but that's the simplest. What does Bad Omens do? Put 2 coppers. Well, guess what? Guess what? Bad Omens it's my favorite thing ever. Now I don't know what to hit here. Because it's totally... Obviously, the Border Guards will accelerate more immediately. which is not to be scoffed at all. You don't necessarily need a huge amount of villages either. But I think I will do the wall village. Maybe reasonable to get lighthouse. Hopefully we get to Skulk here. I mean, hopefully we just trash a bunch and get to Skulk here. They're buying estates preemptively, I guess. Which is something. I'm frozen. Okay. I don't know that it's good, but I guess you can do it. I would love to find the Skulk. We didn't find the Skulk. But we will take a nobles. Still gets us the battlefield. We're still super far ahead. Should be more or less one. I don't know what the payload looks like here. You can buy more Skulks as a way of getting gold. Plague is friendly for hitting, for topher getting to inheritance. Alright, they're there. I think hopefully it's too late for it to be like making much of a difference, but that was brutal. Those were brutal hexes. All right. Thanks for watching. Obviously, I'm happy with the result, and we'll just have the match against Brian to see if we can get in a position to promote. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all later.